I'm really interested in school law, especially when you have certain issues that that seem to cover kind of new territory and they possibly need to be settled by the courts. So here we have a situation here with a teacher, Prior Lake teacher's lawsuit claims district violated her free speech rights over deportation social posting. Now, you know how I feel when it comes to teachers and their personal political opinions and just mixing, throwing that in the classroom and that affecting how they interact with their students. But this case is a little bit different, and you're going to see why as we keep going here. A lawsuit filed earlier this week by a teacher claims the Prior Lake School District violated her right to freedom of speech after a social media post made it in a private Facebook group was shared publicly, and claims that the district suspended her without pay. The suit filed on Wednesday by Brooke Zahn against Prior Lake Savage Area School Superintendent Michael Thomas and Jeffers Pond Elementary Principal Patrick Glenn argues public employers don't have the authority to punish an employee for comments made outside the workplace. Zahn also says retaliation and viewpoint discrimination were used to violate her free speech. Zahn, who has worked as a teacher in the district since August 2016, according to the lawsuit, had a personal Facebook account using her maiden name that wasn't used for work purposes until she deactivated it earlier this year. In addition, it had a section in the intro section of her profile that said, "The views I share are mine and mine alone and only represent me." She was a member of a private group called Prior Lake Light-Hearted Conservative Group US, according to the lawsuit, and was interested in a political debate that spread across the country regarding immigration and border security. Okay, so she's on her private time, it's on her own device. I like that. You're not spewing your personal political opinion in the classroom or going off on students who disagree with you. I think that's fine. The lawsuit goes on to say the Zahn knew Thomas Holman, the former director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement and current border czar, said families can be deported together toward the end of 2024. According to the lawsuit, Zahn posted the below image to the Facebook group on a Sunday afternoon because she believed that the immigration laws should neither go unenforced nor cause family members to be separated from each other, because she wanted to support Mr. Holman's then recent proposal, and because it is a play on the saying, "The family that prays together stays together," which the suit argues is well known in conservative and religious circles as a commentary on the importance of family unity. And here's the post. The family that is deported together stays together. So that's obviously a play on that turn of phrase here. Family that prays together stays together. They're obviously meaning that, you know, people who are here undocumented, who have children born here, instead of separating them, meaning deport the parent and separate them from the kid, you have the parent and the kid. They both leave the country together. Forgive me if that's insulting of your intelligence. I just want to give you enough background as possible so that you're with this story. So this is the image. This is the image right here. Okay, and somehow, some way, that's going to get shared outside this private group and then cause problems for this teacher. Her post was then shared outside the private group, including a group called Troublemakers Alliance on the social media site Blue Sky. She was eventually, that's the left or Democrat Party version of Twitter. She was eventually identified as a teacher in the district, and people who disagreed with her political views began contacting the district and asking that she be punished. Whoa. I want to focus more so on the school and the school law side of this, but man, I don't know. That's worth losing your job over. Family that is deported together stays together, and that's obviously the policy of the current administration. Okay, let me get off that. Let me get off that. Nearly 2 dozen emails were sent to the district about this, according to the court document, which goes on to say none of the messages are believed to have had a child learning in her classroom. So there was an investigation, and the most important thing was that she didn't have a picture. It looks like I'm reading in between the lines. The most important thing to the district was, well, she didn't have any pictures of her classroom or students learning in her classroom. So let's read on. The district then sent an email to families with children at the school, as well as staff not only at Jefferson's Pond, but Jeffers Pond, but also the district, referring to concerns about a recent social media post allegedly connected to a staff member, and then invited anyone with questions or concerns about the school climate or culture to express them. Oh, so now we're getting into the territory of possibly you're causing a disruption of school. Now, definitely, as a principal, we don't like disruptions of in the school environment. So a disruption could be, an all-out interruption of classes, whatever obstructs classes from being able to conduct normal activity within the school, or if you're having to field a bunch of phone calls, a bunch of emails about the same thing. Administrators don't like that. And then you kind of get into, hey, this is a disruption of school activity. So we have nearly 2 dozen emails here. About another 2 dozen emails were sent to the district in the following weeks regarding the post, with some supporting her and others against it. Okay. And you see, this is just really tough because she did it the right way. This is a private group. She's got a different name, and she's even got the disclaimer. These are my views, and I mean, this is pretty mild. I would say this is pretty mild, but definitely, people are very passionate on both sides about this issue. And also, given the fact that you're in Minnesota as a teacher, you have to understand that. You got to understand what you're getting into here. If this was some other place in the country, perhaps there wouldn't be. Now we're up to 48 emails. We're up to 48 emails about this. In the weeks that followed, Zahn says she was put on 7 days of unpaid suspension, was ordered not to post content on social media that could reasonably be perceived as inconsistent with your role as a district employee, and to go through cultural competency and inclusion professional development training. Now that I don't know. This is really interesting. I don't know if I agree with this. She's suspended for 7 days, unpaid. On top of that, you can't post social media content that could reasonably be perceived as inconsistent with, and then go through some PD. Oh. Now the topic is important, but you teachers, you know what I mean. Your punishment is you got to go through more PD. That's kind of strong. Now, again, I don't have all the facts. This is just outside looking in. That seems kind of strong to me. And possibly just, I think the district has overstepped their bounds. I feel that way. I do. The lawsuit goes on to say Zahn had been given a disciplinary letter in 2021 after speaking on social media regarding masking requirements in school due to COVID-19. Okay, so now we've got this. This is important. You've already got a disciplinary letter in your file. The letter ordered her to avoid any conduct that is the same or similar to the described incident. So you can argue she did correct her behavior. So now she's in a private group. But she already had one strike against her. Everyone understood where she was politically. And again, you're in Minnesota. I mean, this is just the way it is. Like, you have to understand that. In a statement made through a news release, Zahn says she loves her job and is proud of her right to free speech. The district's decision to punish me for my private opinions was wrong. I am standing up for my rights as a citizen and to ensure this doesn't happen to other teachers. Continues on, who is seeking a declaration from the defendants that they violated her rights, an injunction to remove the disciplinary action from her record, as well as reimbursement for lost wages, attorney fees, and emotional distress. As news organization reached out to the district for comment, and a representative responded that the district does not comment on pending litigation. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens here. Obviously, with the COVID comment, you're not under the radar. You're no longer under the radar where we would like to be as teachers. You are blinking, you're flashing red on the radar, and someone in this group, they betrayed your trust and they put this out there. So now it's out there, and administration, they've gotten over 48 emails about it, and they got to a point where they had enough. And so now here comes the discipline in the form of a suspension. And they told you can't post. Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that. Inconsistent with your role as a district employee, and then go through this is going to be interesting, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum. We still have a constitution. We still have we still have to abide by the Constitution. And I think that the grounds for this suspension, I'm curious to know what they are, and I think we're gonna get all into it when we go to court, and possibly, I don't know, we'll see if we have a Supreme Court case, future Supreme Court case on our hands here. But yeah. There it is. That's a post. Well, that's what we know so far. We're definitely going to follow this story. So that's what we know so far. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next update.